Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, my Spacians, Facebookians, and fellow Pipers. I had a big break in between, truthfully be told, even though I'm seem to be okay for some of you Pipers and stuff out there. My mother is on her last 48 hours or less, is what they're talking, by hospice. So, I wanted to get this video made, but my sister came down to harass me, so you know how it goes. Now, this is the final part. What I would recommend. Now, I wouldn't recommend any Chinese bootlegs because half the Chinese bootlegs or more, I'd say 99% of them aren't in America. There's a few non-Chinese bootlegs you can get on Amazon by putting Android tablet in under Amazon, but I haven't reviewed them. All I know is most of those ones from my reviews and studying all reviews is crap. Now let's start. First, I want to talk about the Slate. The Slate, in my opinion, would be a good price for $549. However, that's just an estimate. No one knows what it's going to be, and it's supposed to be late October, early November. But the way things are going with HP, it wouldn't surprise me if it was delayed. Now, what I'm curious about is it's a Windows 7. It's running the Atom Z540. Personally, it's slow as molasses. And if the touch screen's perfect and works properly, then it's fine. But I think Arco screwed up, and that's why HP, the Arcos 9 with the Windows 7 starter, they're trying to make it so it's got minimal bugs before bringing it up. The Arcos 9 was brought out and had too many bugs. They brought it out of the hangar before it was ready. Now, the hard drive on the Slate isn't bad for 32 gig solid state, I'm figuring. That isn't bad, or 64 gig, and the 2 gigs of RAM is really good. But then again, with Windows 7, you need a lot of RAM. Now, that, in my opinion, ain't bad. Now, with the HP Palm Pad, it doesn't sound too bad. The same specs as the HP Slate, but it's in Q1 of 2011 for $500, but no one knows what the graphics, the RAM, and the internal storage. So until HP comes clean with the HP Palm Pad, they did a patent thing, so this is all speculation, but from what my report says, they are making one, but no one knows anything. In the Palm OS, we don't know how much RAM it will be with. Now, the Apple iPad comes with 256 megs of RAM. It must be a cut-down version of their Apple software, but it's not bad. The only good thing is they got a good thing for the iTunes movies and stuff. However, if you're playing movies like Star Trek or something, yeah, it might be pretty big. So you might have problems. Now, I wouldn't go with the 3G versions of Apple iPad because usually, unless you want your email on the go like an iPhone, you can wait to get to another place like a Wi-Fi. And there's Wi-Fi all over cities now, so if you can find a Wi-Fi spot, take it for free, get your email, and you don't even have to pay for 3G. Now, the Apple iPad, the only thing I think would be a plus for me would be Squaresoft is developing games for it, like Final Fantasy 1 and 2, which is out, Final Fantasy Tactics, which is due out, and Secret of Mana. Now, the BlackBerry Playbook, if I had to get one, it'd probably be that or the Apple iPad. But again, I'd probably get the Slate just because I'm an HP fan. So technically, I have HP computers. HP printers. and other HP stuff. Now, the 1 gig of RAM is really good, and that 1 gigahertz dual-core Cortex A9 processor, in my opinion, would blow everything away. 16 gig or 32 gigs of RAM, 32 gig hard disk drive would be really good. And that 5 megapixel rear, 3 megapixel front camera would be really interesting. With that 7-inch screen, I think they got a winner. But we'll see what the price is. Some say $500, some say $599, no one's talking. So until they give us a total price, you can only pre-order it at one site for $599.99. Now, that would be my choice for the BlackBerry. Now, if I was going to go for HP, I'd go with the Slate or the Palm Pad or both, just to play and fart around with them. Now, the other one, the Galaxy Tab, $500 is what they're saying. That's got to be with a contract, because I've heard Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, and AT&T want like $399 with contract. This is what they're leaking out on the internet. With Android 2.2, 7-inch screen, and a 1 gigahertz Cortex A8. With 512 megs of RAM, with 16 gigs to 32 gigs solid-state hard drive. 3G, all carriers available, which means you might have to sign up. It might have, it has ABGN wireless if you just want to use it, but you better find one that's unlocked where you don't have to pay a premium for it. However, until the price and release date, the release date's to be announced, but everyone's talking October 25th or 26th by this one place. So, I would go with that one. Now, the Dell Streak, the only one it says is $600. I wouldn't go for $600 Android system, and being a Dell, I wouldn't either. 5, 7, or 10-inch rumored. 10-inch is rumored in a 7-inch, but it's a 5-inch right now. They're working on a 7 and a 10. Android 1.6, they promised 2.2. Until they can hold up to it, I wouldn't do it. And the Adreno 200 graphics card, that ain't bad, but with 512 megs of RAM and 2 gig hard drive, and a 5 megapixel rear VGA front, I would say Dell is doing good, but I'd skip Dell just because my results and report says out. Now, if you want a comparison, if you want something now, go with an Apple iPad. Now, if you want to wait a while, see what happens with the Slate. They might just scrap it, because I've heard rumors also that the Slate is having trouble with Windows 7. So, but if you can wait for the Palm Pad if you're a Palm Pilot user. I'd like to see how well the color interface works and the web OS. The BlackBerry looks like it's going to be picked up with a lot of enterprising entrepreneurs, so technically I'd go with that one, but in my main, if I had to buy 4 or 5, it'd go with the HP Slate and the Palm Pad. Slate being the test out reason of testing it. The Palm Pad because, well, it's it's an HP product too, and they can probably play with the software. Apple iPad just because of Final Fantasy 1 and 2, leaving me with the BlackBerry to go wherever and do whatever I need. So, taking it with me. Plus, it's 3G and 4G promise, which is not bad. Now, it also depends on the prices. So, the bottom line is, I'd skip the Dell Streak and the Amazon Kindle, but I would go with the HP Slate if you had time to wait. The Palm Pad if you had time to wait Q1. The RIM BlackBerry, which will be out sometime next year, which I recommend once I get the bugs out of it. Galaxy Tab, which should be here by the end of the year or at least Christmas time. However, I've heard rumors that Samsung's got problems with the FCC, and that's why they're giving trouble with the telephone service problem. No telephone feature is a thing. And the Dell Streak I would skip. So if I had to spend the money, I'd probably buy the HP Slate, the Palm Pad, the iPad, the Playbook, and the Tab. Now, the Folio, a lot of people ask about the Folio real quick. The Folio is, out of time.